You downloaded an investing app, linked your bank account, and transferred some money. You found a company you knew and trusted, let's say Apple. You watched the price tick up and down, told yourself you knew what you were looking at, and clicked buy. Here is what nobody told you about what happened in the seconds after you clicked that button. Where your money actually went, who received it, how the price got decided, and what you actually own now. Most people participate in one of the largest financial systems ever built the way they drive a car. They know how to operate it, but they have no idea how it works. This is not a list of stock tips. These are the real mechanics that happen behind the screen the moment you click buy. You searched Apple. The price said $213 a share. You had $500, so you clicked buy. You did not buy from Apple. Apple received nothing. Nobody at Apple headquarters saw your transaction, and the company did not gain a single dollar. What you did was buy shares from a stranger, someone on the other side of the country or the world who wanted to sell their Apple shares at that exact moment for that exact price. You gave them $500. They gave you their shares. The stock market is not a store that sells pieces of companies every day. Apple went public in 1980 at $22 a share. That was the only day the company received money directly from public investors. Every transaction across the 44 years since has been investors selling to other investors. Apple got their money in 1980. You just paid someone who bought in 2019. When Apple went public, it divided itself into billions of shares. Each share is a fractional ownership claim on the company, its buildings, its patents, its cash, and its future earnings. Your 2.3 shares are a fraction so small it takes 12 zeros to write it properly. But the claim is real. Every iPhone sold, every App Store fee collected, your shares give you a proportional piece of all of it. When Apple earns more, your shares are worth more. When Apple earns less, your shares are worth less. You are not a customer. You are not a lender. You are an owner, small but real. The $213 you paid was not set by Apple, your broker, a government, or an algorithm in a back room. It was the exact price at which a willing buyer and a willing seller agreed to trade at that millisecond. Every second the market is open, millions of orders pour in. The number you see on your screen is simply the price of the last completed deal, the last moment two people agreed. More buyers than sellers, the price goes up. More sellers than buyers, it falls. Nobody manages it. It just happens continuously at a speed no human can follow. Your broker received your order and routed it to a firm called a market maker. Market makers exist, so there is always someone ready on the other side of a trade. Without them, you could click buy and wait hours for a matching seller. With them, the transaction settles in milliseconds. Your broker sold your order to a specific market maker in exchange for a per-share payment. This is called payment for order flow. Your broker offers commission-free trading because your trade is not the service you are receiving. Your trade is the product being sold. You clicked one button, but 4 parties were involved: you, your broker, the market maker, and the stranger on the other end. When you saw Apple at $213, there were actually 2 prices on the screen. The bid, $212.98. The highest any buyer will currently pay. The ask, $213.02. The lowest any seller will currently accept. The gap between them is the spread. When you clicked buy, you paid the ask. Not $213 even, but $213.02. The market maker kept that 4-cent difference as their fee for connecting you with the seller. Multiply fractions of a cent by billions of transactions a day, and you have one of the most quietly profitable businesses on earth. You were down 23 cents before Apple moved a single dollar. Every investor pays this. Almost none know it exists. Twice a year, Apple drops money directly into your brokerage account. This is a dividend. Apple pays around $1 per share annually, so your 2.3 shares earn you $2.30 a year. It comes directly from Apple's profits. What lands in your account is your proportional cut of what the company actually earned that year. You can spend that $2.30, or you can buy more shares with it. Those new shares earn their own dividends, which buy more shares which earn more dividends. This is compounding. $2.30 landing in your account, reinvested immediately and left alone for decades. Sometimes Apple skips the dividend and takes its profits into the open market to buy its own shares back. When the total number of shares falls, your 2.3 shares represent a slightly larger fraction of the company than they did yesterday. Same business, same revenue, fewer shares. Apple has spent hundreds of billions of dollars on buybacks over the past decade. Every one of them made your shares more valuable without you doing a single thing. It is ownership that grows while you sleep. If Apple went bankrupt tomorrow, your shares would almost certainly be worth nothing. When a company fails, its assets get sold, and the money is distributed in strict legal order. Secured creditors first, bondholders next, then suppliers and employees. Common shareholders, which is what you are, get whatever remains. There is almost never anything remaining. The upside is real, but the downside is total. This is why your emergency fund stays out of stocks, and why owning one company is a bet, but owning 500 through an index fund is a plan. Most people never realize this because the price on the screen looked like a product, not an auction. Your $500 is not sitting still. It is ownership in motion.